remember graduating, having that very common experience of, okay, what now? Where do I fit in this great big world of working and finding your next step? With that came with a lot of applications, a lot of rejections, a lot of not hearing back. It was definitely a difficult period of time post-graduation.
Before we talk about your work and your game, let's first talk about you. What made you go into indies?
It's a mix of things, for sure. I remember graduating and having that very common experience of, okay, what now? What should I do? Where do I fit in this great big world of working and finding your next step? And with that came with a lot of applications, a lot of rejections, a lot of not hearing back. It was definitely a difficult period of time post-graduation. It kind of surmounted to a moment where I was talking with one of my friends. It dawned on me that maybe I should, while no job is really finding me, maybe I should set out on my own and do something and make something and spend that time crafting and honing my skills as a developer. And that was the birth of Devinne Moses Games. And this idea of making a game a month was something that felt both ambitious, but something hopefully really fulfilling that could serve, if it needed to, as a portfolio piece, but I think more so as an opportunity for me to express how I was feeling, as well as share the ideas that I wanted to share. As I just graduated with a wealth of knowledge and experience as a game developer, I value and appreciate small teams because you're able to connect with people at such a, I think, more personal level compared to maybe the AAA space. That also leads to being able to ideate together at a much more intimate fashion, being able to have more creative control, creative say. I think the games that I was making and wanted to make were very specific in that they were narrative games that are very experimental in nature, and it's not what you see in the common AAA space. So I definitely wanted to at least have that opportunity to make games at a very consistent level before venturing off into a different path.
So what's next?
Yeah, so in a month's time, we will be releasing Imagine We Were Human, which is our 12-game compilation. So all the games that we made in 2025, we have standardized them and put them in this one big package that now has a navigable hub space for players to choose which game they want to, as well as see some image gallery assets during development of each game, as well as a video of me and JD, our Pickleworks publisher, have a discussion of a more in-depth talk on each game and how I was feeling about the development of each one. So if you're interested in the documentary side of indie game development, as well as interested in the games themselves, Imagine We Were Human will be releasing July 24th, and we're just super pumped to get it out into the world.
Tell us more about your game. So for people who are new to your work, how would you describe the idea of Devinne Moses and then the games you're making?
Yeah, Devinne Moses Games is all about literary, imaginative nano games. And imaginative is meant to represent the experimentation and presentation that we as artists really value in creating something that is so filled with intent and creates an effect for a player that might be unusual in what you expect in games, or finding the in-betweens between the games that offer a wide range of mechanic abilities and the super micro-constrained games. We try to fit that middle ground of offering a unique mechanic that informs the narrative of whatever the story of our games are. And then the literary aspect of our games is really focusing on characters and the character complexity that I value as a writer and as a reader, and trying to take the components of contemporary fiction and translating that into the game's medium. And a lot of that means is there is a lot less plot in the games that we make, but much more focus on the mundane of characters talking to one another, resolving conflicts, or not resolving conflicts, and figuring out where they fit in this very stylized world as we craft it. And then nano means that we are very small, and we want to make sure that the games that players play can be finished in one single setting, if they so choose, but have an opportunity to offer different playthroughs or different perspectives for a player that is looking to have that replay value in our game. So that kind of encompasses the type of games that we make. And the 12 that we had made for last year and in our a game a month journey, all took those elements and try to craft a unique vision of what that could be, whether it was a horror game in October about familial trauma and escaping that past, or a game in November called Within Rotation, where it's the chance encounters of strangers and the blossoming of new relationships. So we try to be very varied within those very clear values that we set for Vine Moss.